afternoon, folks. This special session for an afternoon meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 2:30. My name is Brian Sullivan. I'm the chair. Welcome to the meeting of the Harwich Board of Appeals on this date, July 9th. The purpose of this meeting is to hear and to sign applications before the Board of Appeals which have been brought pursuant to the bylaw of the town of Harwich and the Massachusetts Zoning Enabling Act. As required by law, the town may audio or video record this meeting, which we are. Any person intending to either audio or video record this open session is required to inform the chair. During this meeting, the chair will recognize promptly a member of the board, the secretary, and the attorneys presenting the case to inform the chair her protocol is not being followed. While in open session, those wishing to present comments or ask questions regarding the case are requested to do so at the podium and to fill out an information form on the podium. I'd like to ask each board member to identify themselves.
David Wilson.
Alexander Donahue.
Brian Sullivan.
John August.
Okay. And tonight, or excuse me, this afternoon, we only have 4 board members here, and as required by law on ZBA, any determination we make has to be a supermajority, or 4 out of 5. But there's only 4 here today. So when we hear each case, at one point or another, towards the end there, I'll ask if the applicant or attorney presenting the case would want to have a straw ballot, a straw vote, just to determine prior to a vote, the opinions of the board members, okay? That way, should you want to withdraw at that point, then you can, as far as to continue to another time when there's 5 members, okay?
Thank you.
All right, I hope everybody understands that, and, but we're lacking members on the board and lacking additional alternates, so when a board member is out and so forth, it's hard to. And this time we have 2 board members, and we have one person filling in, actually Dave, and so if you're out there and you're interested in becoming part of the ZBA, time to sign up. All right, thank you. So Al, why don't you call our first case?
Case number 2026-1-12. George and Alani Zafaris, did I pronounce that properly? Through their attorney, Wayne Crowe and Michael Donovan Esquire. And the owner of the property located at 7 Holly Lane, assessors map 3, parcel C6-11, in the RH1 zoning district. The applicant seeks a special permit or an alternative, a variance under 325-54A-2C, non-conforming structures and uses, and 325, attachment to Table 2 area regulation to construct in addition to a pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling pursuant to the Howard zoning bylaws of 325, 54, and 52 in Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Sections 6 and 10. The Highway Department and the Police Department, the Building Department, comment had no concerns. Planning Department, Historic Board Secretary both submitted comments stating they had no concerns. Chairman asked that the applicant...
No other comments, Father.
I can't comment any further.
Yeah, there were no other comments from other town departments nor abutters sent in letters, okay, were received. So I'd like to have the applicant or representative introduce themselves, and certainly those helping present the case. And George, are you here today? I think, given the fact I read your narrative, it was very good, so I think you should be sitting next to the attorney, because I think you've got a handle on this, okay? So
Thank you. So Michael Donovan.
we'll let him go solo.
We'll bring him in as needed, yeah. Michael Donovan, Crowe and Donovan Law, and as we said, the Zafarises are seated right behind me here. So, as stated, what we're seeking here is a special permit from the building plans As you can see, what they're seeking to do is to demolish the existing four-season room that has part of the kitchen in it as well. And it's two attached decks there right now. Those decks will get removed as well. I just want to make sure, in the first site plan, it wasn't clear of the decks that they were being demolished and what the exact footprint of the new deck was.
Yep.
So I had them update that and put in black, dark, bold, and labeled new deck, overlying kind of the decks that were there. Just want to make sure we're all looking at the same plan. There should be
Yes.
a revision date of July 6th on that.
It's a smaller one.
I had it here a moment ago, and I apologize, folks. Oh, here you go. Thank you. Yeah, I'm all set, Mr. Donovan.
So the only change from a zoning standpoint of drawing in that new deck was that the east side setback is existing 26.5. The prior plan had it in the same footprint. It's actually 25.9, so it's like half a foot difference, but it's still conforming. So just wanted to know, there's nothing that's really changed, anything that you've read or anything to do with any of the zoning setbacks or site coverages or building coverages or anything of that nature. We just wanted it to be clear there so that when they do the build-out, it matches the actual site plan that's on record.
Just one quick comment on that, and it doesn't affect this. The line is drawn at 25.9 to the stairs.
Yeah,
Actually, if it's under 4 feet,
it should be to the deck,
it could be to the deck.
yeah. I think
All right?
that's right.
Just wanted to
Yep.
comment on that, okay? So it's actually a little bit more of a set, it may be, I mean, I have no idea what the size of the deck is, so, I mean, the height of the deck is.
The height of the deck, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, so they're looking to knock down that sunroom and make that into habitable space. The only nonconformities on the lot are the lot size and the frontage that are gonna remain the same. And then what's the rear setback, it's kind of a funky lot, so the rear of the south, technically, because Holly Lane's up on the north where the entrance is. So down there, the existing right now is 7.7 to that deck, whether that deck's 4 feet up or not. And that corner's gonna remain in the same spot, so there's not gonna be any change to the setback on that south side. What will change is over where it shows 11.1 feet to the new build that was sunroom, that's now becoming habitable space. And under the bylaws, then they're saying that because you're turning it into fully habitable space, conditioned space, that you need a special permit to get that because it's within the
Correct.
setback area of the 20 feet on that south side. So that's the reason that we're here today. So we would submit that everything's conforming except for that lot size and frontage that are remaining unchanged, and from the south setback that's remaining unchanged. The fact that there's some habitable space that's gonna be within that 20-foot setback on that south end makes it right for a determination under a special permit standard under the statute in the Gale case. We think that it's warranted here where there's not gonna be a substantial detriment to the entire neighborhood. It won't impact traffic or noise or congestion or odor to turn that space into fully habitable space from the sunroom space that it is currently. We'd be happy to answer any other questions that you have, and I think that kind of lays out what it is that they're looking to do.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Dave, any questions?
I have no questions.
John?
The only question I had is just trying to understand the plans. The basement, it's got a new basement stairway. Is there already a basement on the existing part? So it's basically just giving you access to the new area?
There is an existing basement and existing stairs to go down.
Right.
So the stairs are gonna be adjusted a little bit because there's not enough headroom, so there will be an adjustment in
Oh.
the layout of the stairs to
Right.
make them more comfortable so you can go up and down.
But there's nothing that's gonna be finished in the basement as part of the plan, right, other than the stairs? Okay. That was my only question.
Yeah, if at some point you were, then that be reviewed as they always do by the Board of Health and so forth. I have no questions as well. I mean, I think this is, everything's fine here, and as the attorney pointed out, and also in your narrative as well, sir, that it meets the requirements as far as looking at a pre-existing nonconformity and as well as the Gale case. What is your time frame for construction?
We would like to start mid-September,
Okay.
of this year.
And you have the, in addition to your shell area that you have for your parking area, I notice that across the private road, there's also kind of a parking space. I believe that's just right-of-way area on the private road. It's not your property, correct? But it certainly seems like you could also get vehicles on there if you had to be able to maintain an egress. I think there's just one more person on the street, or is there more? Two, okay. So, as far as, and when we get to that section, looking at any kind of conditions, should we go forward with approval? I feel the fact that we don't need the seasonal, July to, June through September requirement, because I think it's not, certainly not an area that's gonna get additional seasonal traffic. And then I would recommend, if we do, when we get to that point, a condition that for the life of project, all construction vehicles, when possible, will be parked on the applicant's property and not blocking the egress on the right-of-way along a public street or private way, which would also allow them to park in that shell area and keep vehicles, off the street. And, okay. Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak regarding this application? Okay. Hearing none, I'd like to ask any additional questions by the board, or anything, comments by the applicant?
No
Okay.
comments.
All right, so let's move right along here. Let's take a look at what is going to constitute the findings of facts as well as conditions. And Donovan, you have a copy of Rachel's
I
report?
do, yes.
And we probably need to revise it based upon,
A little supplementation, I think, yes.
all right, so let's take a, whoops, there it is. Excuse me. So looking at page 2, so the site plan now is going to be
Revision date of July 6th.
date, February 19th, and then revision date,
7/6/26.
of 7/6/26. Okay. Are there any other,
Just under number 1, a supplemental narrative on July 8th.
oh, sure. We're gonna classify your narrative as a supplemental?
Yeah,
Okay, all right. All right,
George's is the main one, and mine's just a little supplemental.
supplemental, all right, this one, because, George can put a shingle out, as far as doing this for a living. I think he can. All right, so, 1A would be a supplemental, oh, you actually wrote supplemental on it. Narrative by Kroll and Donovan, okay. Okay, do we see any other changes on documentation? Okay. All right, so now we are on findings of facts, which is page 3. Do we need to adjust any of the setbacks on this with the change of this? I don't believe so.
No.
Okay.
The only thing, there's a typo on number 2.
Yeah, it's not W-1, right?
Right. It's three,
C611.
it's right on the front page, on page 1, it's 3-C6-11.
3-6,
No, 3-C6-11. Map 3, so then parcel C611.
okay. Other than that, 1 through 13, we all set, gentlemen?
Yeah,
Okay.
those were fine from our end, yep.
Okay.
The only other thing I would just say, this relates to that deck confusion, or just unclarity. On page 2, proposed changes, the second line says the deck will remain. Page 2.
Yeah.
I think we can just strike that sentence. See the second line?
Yes.
Yeah.
Under proposed changes paragraph, second sentence, Brian?
Yeah. All right, so cross up. Cross up, the deck will remain. Oh, the deck will be replaced, but one or the other. All right, so, gentlemen, you agree with me the fact that for life of the project, that we're just gonna use for life of the approved project, all construction vehicles will be possible to be parked on the applicant's property and will not block egress on the right-of-way along any public street or private way. We in agreement on that? And then the standard one on the violation of terms. All set with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I'd like to, Chair makes a motion to accept the documents, findings of facts, and conditions for approval as stipulated. Can I have a second?
Second?
Second by John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Show that it's an affirmative, 4-0. They ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Can I have a second, please?
Second?
Okay, second by John. All those in favor of close the public hearing?
Aye.
Okay. Note the fact that it was unanimous. And voting on the case here today will be Al, myself, John, and David. And the chair will now entertain a motion to close discussion.
So moved.
Okay,
Second.
second by Al. The vote on the motion to close discussion.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. 4-0. Any final discussions, any discussion by the board? We're all set here?
All
Okay,
set.
everything's fine? Okay.
I
Al,
don't think we need a straw vote either.
I'm pretty sure probably good to go. All right, okay. Al, could you make a motion, please?
Case number 2026-12, George and Eleni Zafaris, through their attorney. Their property is located at 7 Holly Lane, Assessors Map 3, Parcel 6-11, in the RH1 zoning district. The applicant has been granted a special permit under 325-54A-2C, non-conforming structures and uses. Attachment Table 2, area regulation to construct in addition on a pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling pursuant to the Howard zoning bylaws of 325, 54, and 52, and Mass General Law 40A, Section 6. The grantee is consistent with the Gale and related cases, as there will be an intensification of one or more existing nonconformities and no new conformities, and no substantial detriment to the entire neighborhood on a pre-existing non-conforming lot, and as proposed, the structure will not create any additional negative impacts with respect to noise, traffic, odor, or congestion. Any relief not expressly granted herein is hereby denied, and all work shall be performed in accordance with the plan submitted with the application. revisions to the approved building plan to conform to building code regulations that do not alter what is approved by the board on this decision do not need to come back to the board of approval. Said grant and approval are subject to the following conditions. For the life of the project, of the approved project, all construction vehicles, when possible, will be parked on the applicant's property and will not block egress on the right-of-way along any public or private way. I know you can use that shell driveway, so that'll take some of your problem off. A violation in terms of the conditions of the special permit may be enforced as a violation of the Howard zoning bylaws pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 40A, Section 7, and the Howard zoning bylaws as these may be amended from time to time.
Can we have a second?
Second.
By John. Any further discussion by the board?
Nope.
Okay, I'd like to vote on the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion is approved. You have your permit.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you. Okay, so the next case being called here, Al, could you call the case, please?
Case number 2026-13, Kristen A. Punch and William Punch III, through their attorney, Michael Donovan. They're the owners of the property located at 5 Highland Lane, assessors map 6B, parcel L151, in RA2 zoning district. The applicant seeks a special permit or the alternative, a variance of 325-54A, 4 and 5, non-conforming structures and uses, 325, attachment to table 2, area regulation, 325, attachment 3, table 3, height and bulk regulation, to raise and replace a pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling pursuant to the Howard zoning bylaws, 325, 54, and 52, and the Mass General Law of 40A, Section 6 and 10. The following departments, Highway Department, Fire Department, Building Department, no comments, no concerns. Planning Department, Historical Board, Secretary, both submitted comments stating they had no concerns. No other comments from other town departments or abutters were received.
Okay. I'd would like to ask the attorney or representatives presenting the case to introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, Michael Donovan from Crowell and Donovan Law, and with me are the Punches, seated in the front row here, and
Folks.
the contractor, Chris Childs from Patriot Builders, who's gonna be doing the project, and is the one who submitted the building plans.
Yes.
So yeah, this property, hopefully you've been to it, is down on a dead-end street in the campgrounds, just off of Atlantic Ave. And it's a single-story structure right now, and they're looking to demolish that structure and build a different footprint, a two-story dwelling on that same lot, and to add parking. There's no parking right now on that property. It's all street parking on that small dead-end street. So the project will actually increase the setbacks on 3 sides with a modest increase in the building coverage and an increase in the site coverage. So the one area, well, let's just walk through it. So if we look at the existing plans, on the north side, it's 9.9, and that's gonna go to 20 feet. On the front, it's currently 10.1, it's gonna go to 10.2, so effectively the same on the front coverage. And then on the south side, it's 8.1 to the building, and it's gonna be 8.2 to the building, so also again, effectively the same kind of setback on the south side. And then on the east side, right now, it's 10.2 to the deck, and 15.2 to the corner of the house. And that's gonna be changed to 10.4 to the building. We also put on there the bulkhead as well. I'm not sure how the ZBA is viewing that now. Traditionally, the bulkhead was not used as setbacks, but that seems to have come into question more recently. So we put both of those onto the site plan there on that side. So what we're left with is something that's more centered on the lot. The septic is gonna go in up on that north side which is really the only place it could go to have the spacing that would be needed. That's the area that is conforming at 20 feet there. And then on that, over that septic area is gonna go a proposed patio and the proposed two-car driveway parking area. So,
I'm sorry, wait a minute, where's the parking area again?
yeah, the northwest corner,
Yep.
see there's a, it's noted proposed 18 feet wide by 22 feet wide parking, and it's dotted lines, so that's why maybe it's not easy to see, because the septic is underneath it, but it's those black kind of bold dotted lines showing it.
Yeah, when you get to your, I'd like to know further regarding, again, what requirements are done regarding being able to park on top of the septic, that's all.
Mm.
Okay, but go ahead, finish up.
And then the same, the patio is there, is that dark dotted line.
Yep.
Just to the east of that. And so what we're left with is that the building coverage is going from 31.3 to 35. The site coverage is going from 42.9 to 55.6, of which a large bulk of that is that driveway area there, that we would submit that is actually improving the congestion in the neighborhood, because getting rid of a lot of the congestion in the neighborhood, because we're trying to take cars off of that small dead-end street and get them onto the property itself. Because right now, there's not any parking area on the property. So other than the increase in the site coverage, the increase in the building coverage, the other three setbacks are all a slight improvement, effectively the same, and the building is in the same area on the east side. It's closer, it's 15.2, it's now 10.4. We've stayed beyond that 10-foot area. So we would submit that these plans are, again, warrant a special permit here, that there will not be a substantial detriment to the entire neighborhood, that especially traffic congestion is going to be improved by the fact that we're creating parking space on the lot that doesn't currently exist, and there won't be any extra noise or odor caused by the new plan of the two-story building on that lot. Happy to answer any other questions that you have.
Okay, thank you. John?
I mean, this is always tough down here, and everything's squeezed in. I mean, I really don't have any big objections or questions. The only thing that I'm wondering, did you consider, on the bulkhead, looks like a traditional bulkhead with an entrance straight down.
I think so, yeah.
If you turned it sideways, which would take a little bit more space and a little bit more concrete, it wouldn't be as close. You'd have to have a landing at the bottom, would make it bigger, but it would at least take it a little bit off the property line rather than 4 feet, the entrance. Just, again, I don't have a huge objection to the way it is, but just a thought to give more room, especially if you're gonna have a fence or something on the abutters.
You mean something like an open area with it?
No, just have it, go sideways down you know, where the stairs are, you know, the wall, the foundation wall would be on your left. And then you'd have to have a landing, so it'd have to be a little bit bigger, but it wouldn't be, you know. Yeah, you'd have to build a little bigger coverage or whatever than a typical, door, but I'm just thinking, then it would probably then be 6 or 7 feet, you know, from the lot line instead of 4 feet, but just, a suggestion.
Okay.
It is pretty close to the property line.
What is the height of the bulkhead?
Typically, where you enter the bulkheads, it's maybe 6 inches off the ground, and then at the house, it's about 2 feet at the most.
Okay. So, and when you're referring to things have changed a little bit, and are, in the past, at least most recent past, the board here has looked at bulkheads as being under the same code as stoops going into a house. You know, so if they're under 4 feet, that really it's a landing, and it really isn't, you know, to be used as a, you know, under the strict terms of the setbacks. Of course, you can go, with something that's under 4 feet, you can go half the distance of the lot line, whatever, but that was typically the scenario. More recently, our past building commissioner was concerned with the fact that if bulkheads are put in and later on habitable spaces going in, then those are gonna be requiring under the new code to have a higher entrance area of like 6 or 7 feet, which would take it above that 4-foot scenario. And that commissioner was not in favor of approving bulkheads that, and this is what I referred to when we had somebody with a 20-foot setback and then had a bulkhead. That was the issue, allowing that bulkhead to be into the setback. And our board had, in the past, and it was before you came on board, Dave, was approving bulkheads that went into the setback. You know, and we didn't consider that creating a new nonconformity. Now, you already have a nonconformity here to begin with.
Right.
So that's, but I just want to clarify, so her issue was that what she thought might come about the heights, as why she wasn't a fan of allowing for bulkheads that went into the setback, right? You already have a nonconformity here, and you're doing a standard type bulkhead scenario, because I guess going forward on the laws, I believe it's habitable space, that type of bulkhead can't be used as an egress.
If you finish the basement.
If you finish the basement, right? So that was her issue, and I understood it, you know, so that's, anyways, this bulkhead here, I have no problem with it, and had it been creating a new nonconformity by going into it, I wouldn't have had a problem with it either, because it's under the 4 feet, okay? The parking area, is that being tarred? Or are you gonna be using stone or other types of? Okay, all right. So you'll be using a pervious material. At some point in the future, we hope to have the fact that pervious materials do not count on the site plan percentages. That's in the future, okay? That's something that's being looked at as a zoning change. But for now, that's the deal, okay? But I would recommend the fact that you use pervious materials, particularly that area and where you have the septic system above it, and be able to access the septic system should you need to be able to get to it. My key question is, in doing this raise and replace, do you have a wand in your back pocket to be able to maintain all this? And how are you, just out of curiosity, how's this gonna, because on Highland Avenue, if I went on that street and I had quite a time trying to back up and get out of it after I drove into it. And my question is, it seems to end, and then you have a neighbor to your north that has a yellow chain across what I think is an egress. Is that their egress to Highland Ave? Okay, I guess that's the neighbor back there, okay. When we get into public comment, I'll have you, if you'd like to speak, that'd be fine. So I'm just kind of wondering about that, okay? But you know, certainly on staging this, so there's no, you know, there's no backup, I mean, there's no lack of egress. I think you're really gonna have to coordinate things with your neighbors to make this happen, and I would like to kinda know is, because right now, I don't know how you start this without causing some egress issues. And I was wondering if you might address that.
Well, I think there's the parking lot at the end of the street. Are we talking about for, like, bringing
No,
vehicles
I'm talking
in?
about tearing down this house and putting it into dumpsters.
Okay.
Where do the
I'm-
construction vehicles go? Where are the material gonna be staged?
Yeah, I
Where's
just,
the
this is
dumpster gonna be?
kinda wondering
Yeah,
how this,
I'd have to, Chris, to talk the details of it, but,
well, no, you can sit right next to the attorney. You don't have to go to the podium. You're not, at the moment, you're the applicant, you're not the public, okay?
So, yeah, obviously, it's a tight space, and we would have to coordinate with neighbors. We would be planning on doing it in the off-season, so there wouldn't be as much, at least we hope there wouldn't be as much traffic. But we typically would, in a space like that, we would have to coordinate with people. We'd bring a dumpster in, fill it, and take it right out of there, so there would be moving vehicles. It wouldn't just be something blocking for days at a time. And for a house that size, I would say 2 days and the house is gone. So we'd have to bring smaller containers in, not the, large trucks. So it definitely, takes some coordination.
And I just want to point that out, but coordinating that, or the fact of what you do about an egress and keeping an open egress for everybody, we make that a statement
Yeah.
in our decision, but it actually isn't up to the building department or this board to monitor that.
Right.
Then that becomes a matter of other public departments, okay?
Yeah, I think we'd actually bring in wheeled dump trucks rather than a container that rolls off of a vehicle and sits on the ground, so that at any point in time, the truck can be moved if someone needed to get by.
Okay. I'm sure that maybe there's a butters here that may want to further discuss that, but, and are there anybody that uses Highland Avenue, full-time residents? Okay, well, all right, the hand went up and, okay, well, because that's one of my concerns here is how we're going to address this.
Okay.
And I'm not quite sure how we address that in our conditions either, okay?
But realistically, there's only 3 houses on the street, right? And this is the middle house.
Right, yeah, so the other two is get
one-
things.
One can access from Union Street and the other can access from Atlantic Avenue. I mean,
Do the other houses have accesses outside of Highland Avenue?
That was my impression, too.
Okay.
yeah, again, I think you could either come in from the north or south. I mean,
Okay,
obviously, we
all
don't
right.
want to block the road, but there's only 3 houses.
This
Okay.
is the only house that is constrained by that road.
That's right, okay. I didn't look at that as well as you guys did, so thank you for doing that. All right, so everyone does have, there is some egress opportunities for other people to use egress other than Highland Avenue.
The house behind him comes out of Union Street, right?
Okay, all right, that's
And
good to know.
the one in front goes on Atlantic Avenue.
Excellent, okay, thank you. Al, any questions?
The only question I have is with regard to your bulkhead. Do you remember this winter we just had?
we do, yes.
Trying to get out of that bulkhead, given the
Well, that's,
snowfall and the ice that we had this year, which is not necessarily consistent with every year down here. It does need a cover of some nature, otherwise you're never gonna get out of it.
well, bottom line is, if the basement is not improved, it's not havable space, and they don't have a problem as far as what the Board of Health might say.
The only extra, yeah.
I mean, once it's habitable space, then that's another issue.
Well, even habitable space, you're allowed to have either a bulkhead or an egress window.
It's actually a bedroom scenario, right? Yeah.
Excuse me?
Go ahead, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh.
You're absolutely right. Okay. Anything else, Al?
The bedroom scenario is the issue.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
Nothing more,
Okay.
nothing more.
okay, David?
I had no other questions,
Okay,
Brian.
thank you. Any additional comments, questions from the applicant? Okay. I'd like now to see if there's anyone in the public that would like to be heard regarding this case. If there are, just go to the podium. Does that water bottle mean you've been here for a while? I'm only kidding.
I thought we had 4:30, Chairman.
No reason to limit yourself to that.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Luther Grant. I prefer to be called Luke. My family resides at 9 Union Street. We've also had the pleasure of owning 14 Central Street and 32 Ocean Ave in the Grove. I've been there all my life. It's an unbelievable place. I think you guys did great coming into our neighborhood. I have a bunch of issues with the application, and I'd like to start with the most recent thing said by the applicant, that the contractor, again, is trying to do a job, and I'm a contractor as well. I actually hold a builder's license and a Mass Title V state inspector's license. If you want to see copies, I have copies of those. If you take my word for it, I'm cool with that, if you save the paperwork. There is no off-season anymore in our lovely town of Harwichport. It's every month. So I respect the goals and objectives of the applicant. I have everything from a full-size 28-foot dump trailer all the way down to a tiny little tow-behind dump trailer. And respectfully, I have a salt box house right behind the lot you have with a drive-under garage. I come around the corner at Highland, and there's a fellow who always parks a dark BMW convertible at the corner, and his wife runs this electric Moki, and I shimmy my pickup truck between there, and I go up to my drive-under garage. Right now, my Zodiac is in it because my boat's getting a transmission, but I do a drive-through because I have access to Highland Lane. I don't intend that to be challenged at all. I will maintain my access to Highland Lane, period. I do have access to Union Street, but I sometimes have 10 cars in my driveway. So I'm not going to shuffle cars. I'm going to use Highland as I always have. But I'd like to show a couple of pictures of the cottages I've had the privilege of living in. The first one's on 14 Central. That cottage is known as Sandy Nook. It was in my family from 1901 to 1982. The second page is Silver Leaf. That was in my family from the mid-50s to, again, 1983 or 4. The third picture is a side view of our salt box at 9 Union Street. I'm lucky enough that my grandfather bought that, and somehow my father decided not to sell that one. We maintain that in its original footprint and find it to be fantastic. The fourth picture I took from the front of 5 Highland, and that, the prior owners were Bertarelli's. Mrs. Bertarelli used to park her car in that driveway. So to say there was no driveway is a misstatement. I don't know if it helps their application or not. Maybe it does in the square footage or what, but there's a driveway there. There's a gate for the driveway. There's 15 feet to the bushes. You can probably fit any of my cars, not my pickup truck, but cars fit in there. Again, these seem like small things, but when you're making a change for 100 years, I think the application should accurately indicate what's there. now gonna go to a couple of questions with the plans. And yes, I killed a couple of trees. So, on page 1, I looked at the proposed site layout, and I'm really good with numbers. Like, I see numbers, I add them up. I'm a contractor, I can see crazy things. So on the bottom of this first page, it says lot area, 4316 square feet. We all know that's tiny. Right below that is .99 acres. Think about that. 0.9, that means almost 1. 0.9 acres is like 40,000 square feet. I don't know if it's an intentional misrepresentation or somebody at the engineering office just overlooked something. But I'm here to tell you that a layperson, somebody not with my construction experience or septic experience or engineering, if you will, looks at that and says, oh, you know, honey, it's okay, they're almost on 1 acre. No, this is .09. You know how I know that? I own 2 properties in a place in Norton called The Grove on a lake, and they are literally .09 of an acre. I have an existing house that is 24 by 20, a house. I originated the tiny house thing, but they can't have this on a plan in front of your board.
Well, Luke, Luther, I think they do spell out the square footage on the plan, and I believe as you pointed out, it should be .0991, I think that's a typo. But the key thing here is that the correct information, in my opinion, is on the plan, and so that I don't have an issue with it.
It goes to the completeness of the plan from your
I understand.
request for information. I'm merely going by your rules, Chairman.
Yeah, no, I think it can be noted, I think, in the finding of facts.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
On the second page,
Rachel, you want to note that in the finding of facts, that the site plan has a typo? And it should be I believe, .0991.
it is. I can't call it a typo, quite frankly, because you know what? Typos are never in the favor of in the disfavor of the applicant. From my experience in situations like this, it's always in favor, but
Yeah, no, I didn't need to look at the plans to know I had a postage stamp for a lot. Okay, I wasn't,
I'm not.
and I
yeah.
know when this board thought it was anything more than a postage stamp, so I think it's just an
No,
oversight. which
I
is correct.
agree with you. I'm not
Doesn't-
saying for the
doesn't
board.
im- Doesn't impact our consideration.
I understand. I'm talking for the layperson who walks in and looks at the application.
Right, no, but.
That's all.
Yeah, I hear you.
On the second page in this little handout I have is, I'm just mentioning that the total existing square footage of the building is 1174. That's not a typo, that's 1,174 square feet. I already, on the page 3, I already referred to, in the factual background, it says there currently no driveway. There is the driveway I spoke of. Again, I'm not saying it's horrible, it just, these are the facts, and the factual background is inaccurate. On the 4th page, on the zoning compliance table, you folks were already addressing the 4.1 feet on the bulkhead. So, again, I've lived behind this house my entire life. The dwelling of the existing house is 15.2. That's almost 20 feet. That's the rear setback requirement. They're putting a dwelling at 10 feet, which is half the requirement, and then they're throwing a bulkhead for a percentage of it for 4 feet, which you and I both know very well may be finished in 10 years. So I agree with the 4 of you that something should be done with the bulkhead. Lastly, in this handout, it was on the bottom of the original plan, and it starts on item 10, and I've got another plan that shows something about this from the electrical easement, electrical wires. Unwritten or unrecorded easements. These buildings were done in the 50s, and the layout, I have blueprints, actual old-style blueprints of the campground back then. We don't have any easements, and I don't know that they have an electrical easement for the wires going to their house. Secondly, below that, number 11, I don't know, this is a right-of-way, a road, is this an actual accepted town road? I couldn't find whether it was or it wasn't. I'll leave that for later.
You mean Highland itself?
Highland, they're calling it Lane now, right? So it was Highland Ave on these blueprints, now it's Highland Lane.
I don't think they're representing it to be that.
But the engineer was very careful to say, we don't determine anything about the legal status of this, whatever you want to call it. Lastly, on this page, I'd really like to see the dry wells located. They're saying the roof is so impermeable and so significant that they want all the roof runoff to be piped into dry wells. Now, that's not a torturous situation when you have maybe a 6,000 or a 10,000 square foot lot, but when you have this lot, this close to the lot lines, this close to other septic systems, I want to see where those dry wells are going to be, because there are setbacks that were required. 10 feet minimum from a septic tank, 10 feet minimum from a water service, 25 from a soil absorption system. I have my soil absorption system 10 feet off their lot line. It's got to be 25 feet from my soil absorption system as well. Again, I'm a Title V septic inspector. And I know it's a lot for the engineering, but this, we're gonna change the neighborhood for 100 years. I'd like to see a little drywall on the plan. That's all. This you may not need, but this is a copy of your zoning. I highlighted a couple of things that I found pertinent.
Thank you.
Just so you don't have to refer to anything else. So, in the middle of your chapter 325, number 5, I think I highlighted it. Your building coverage, it goes quite high, and site coverage as well, and I'm not comfortable with how the applicant is saying it doesn't increase or it's not significant. I'm looking at existing building coverage. In a non-conforming lot, existing building coverage is currently 31.3. The new building coverage, they're saying 35%, and I guess I'm not privy enough to your rules. Doesn't the second floor contain an actual other encroachment for the side setback? So half of a second floor, wouldn't that be a non-conforming second floor? Like you need a 25-foot setback for the second floor as well, no?
I'm not totally following what you're saying here. First of all, the key thing is height, that what's allowed, and then, you're allowed, for a certain number of footage, a 2-foot overhang in areas on a second floor, for outside decks, things like that, you are allowed, or for, windows and type of, it is allowed. So, but I'm assuming and I, to go back to it, the second story is not encroaching beyond 2 feet of what is shown for the setbacks on the plan. Or is it, am I wrong?
You're correct.
Okay.
You're
So
correct about it not.
as long as any, you know, for any type of, you know, window treatments and so forth, you know, you're allowed to do 2 feet out for, I think, half the distance of the length of the room, of the area. So if there is an overhang on the outside, on the second floor, and it's not more than 2 feet, that is allowed for a specified number of linear footage.
And not counted as
They're not counting, yeah.
lot coverage beyond the
It's
foundation.
it's not considered additional lot coverage.
Okay,
And,
Can we go-
and regarding, item E here, per Gale and so forth, a lot of our zoning codes are out of date, and, we, per state, court decisions, we can't, restrict a 25% habitable square footage change. It's in our zoning code, but it's against court law.
very interesting.
Yeah, it's in matter of fact, I believe in our last
Meeting,
town
voted
meeting,
eliminated.
we eliminated that scenario for the zoning code, which has now gone to the state for, you know, for approval. So it's in the code, but it's.
It was on, I have it from, like, I think it was July 6th or something, it was recently.
Yeah.
Whatever,
But anyway, I just want you to know the fact that on a non-conforming lot,
right,
on a conforming lot, there was no restrictions regarding how many square feet people could change within their structure
right.
per year. On a conforming, the code has it that they are restricted, and that restriction under the Gale case and some other cases is not allowed by state court decisions. So that, and we eliminated this line, and we requested the state to allow us to change the code. Just want you to know.
I appreciate that. So the new rules and regs, E will be gone. Is that,
Yes.
that's what I'm hearing?
Yes.
And the current, they're just still up and they're pending lit?
Yeah, we can't
All right.
take it out.
And C and D as well, right?
Yeah, C, D, and E, actually, all of them.
Three of them.
They've been overridden by court precedents.
Yeah, C, D, and E are all overridden.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I still have to look at the site coverage. Existing is 42.9. And proposed is 55.6. We're going up
No, I realize that.
quite a bit.
Yeah, no, this board has to discuss that.
I understand, I'm just,
Yeah, no, it's
I try to be thorough,
It's
all right? I go through a plan,
it's a valid point.
it's what I don't watch late night TV, I hang, I look, this is interesting to me, and it's relevant, so I just.
Sure.
I went what I could.
Your comment has merit.
I believe the applicants pointed out, though, that that's the addition of what's now a defined parking area versus the existing does not have a defined parking area.
Right.
It's the vast majority of the new.
Majority of that is where they're gonna be parking their cars and showing a curb cut onto Highland Lane or street, or
Highland, you just call
the
it.
Highland.
The Highland,
Just call it Highland.
they're calling it Highland Lane, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
This is, an average I did of, all the cottages in the grove. I went down Ocean Ave, all the way to where the lot started getting bigger, out by Lower County Road. And I did every lot under 6,000 square feet. First, I did all the lots, all the cottages. For the sake of argument today, the average size of all cottages on that street is 1133 square feet. I also jumped out and did Central Street and a couple on Park Street just to confirm, and they were very similar results. I then pulled out from the Ocean Ave cottages, ones that were significantly or totally renovated in the last 10 years like these guys are doing. And I found that the average square footage, whether approved by you or built in the same footprint, which probably had to be approved by you guys anyway, is up to 1229. And to the applicants, I couldn't figure out the square footage of the house. I added some stuff up. Is it 2596, 2600 square feet? What's the top and first floor of the building?
I believe it's around 2,400 square feet.
2,400. So they're politely requesting to double the average size of a renovated cottage in an area where you can't drive in. If you go in there with a brush truck to stop a kid who burned a trash barrel, you can't get into that road. So I'm concluding that they're requesting the size double a renovated cottage. So I stand corrected. It's not 2596. I'll throw 2,400 on that. And I promise,
Look, I didn't put a restriction on open meeting time here for this case here, but do you have any further points you want to?
this is my last one.
Okay.
This is from the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. I was at the meeting in '05 when the Board of Health restricted the bedrooms and the square footage of this house to 1174. Paula Champagne was the health agent then, and I knew Paula because Paula gave me my septic installer's license to replace our own septic system then, and Paula was very thorough. She made me take a test. She wouldn't accept 4 licenses from off Cape to give me a license in Harwichport. Paula gave me a test to install septics in your town. This places a 3-bedroom deed restriction on that property in perpetuity. More appropriate for today's discussion, item number 1, highlighted under the orders of conditions stated at the meeting I was at, was there is to be no increase in square footage, habitable space, or number of bedrooms beyond those presently existing in the dwelling. I believe the people in 2005 at the Board of Health had a pretty good grasp at the environmental sensitivity of that area. I know a lot about subsurface water movement and that sort of thing. The groundwater there, deep down in the sand, mixes with the Nantucket Sound, and our effluent, gray water if you will, flows from our houses and mixes with the water at the beach. It's just the way it is. I know why they did this. You know why they did this. I'm gonna say, folks, I appreciate you coming in the neighborhood. If you could stand to minimize the plan, I'd welcome you with open arms. The plan at 2,400 square feet is way over where we belong as a community. I mean, every house out there is on a 40 by 100 or a 50 by 100. My grandfather bought like the hugest place in the world. We have 100 by 100. I didn't do it. I'm lucky to be there. But I don't see how this recorded document could be overlooked for the sake of this discussion. Everywhere else, just outside that area, if you will, is in a nitrogen reductive zone, right? Fast systems. I installed one in Dennis. I did one in Brewster. The Cape has tidal issues with septic systems. We're just a little high above sea level to be out of that zone, but the effluent flows rapidly through the sand right into Nantucket Sound. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's quite right.
The deed restriction is a tough thing for me to get around. I look at things as a contractor. Usually I sit in your place, I understand where you are. You're handcuffed to 1174. I don't know what else there is. I have a couple of plans, if you wanna look at the, old blueprints, they're interesting. If you've listened to me long enough, that's cool. The power lines come over, only because we're gonna change the land for 50 years. I'd like you guys to just look at one thing. So, here we are at Highland. Here's the project house. This is Atlantic,
Right.
Nantucket Sound is there. The power comes over these two properties. This is when the town gave, this used to be Prospect Street. And these were, you understand this was a religious campground with tents and cart paths and horses. In 1901, my predecessors came out in buggies, no bridges, right? Must have been cranking. But the power comes over here. I don't know if they possess an easement from the power company over these people's lot. Are they gonna have to create a pole and come down the power or underground down Highland? There's a lot missing from this. And again, you disconnect the power, whoever supplies the juice might be great to cut it off, but then whoever's property it goes over, I wouldn't want it going over my property, I'd lose my mind. We don't own 3,000 feet up, but we own 50 or 100. Thank you for listening. I know I went on. I'm very passionate about the area. I'm not trying to be a stickler. I want something that fits in, and I know you do too.
Mr. Grant, I appreciate your comments.
Thank you very much. And I'm not gonna come in and apply to be a board member. I was on a water sewer commission for a decade, and I feel like other people have to serve as well.
Rachel, cancel that email to Mr. Grant.
I think you're very lucky to have Rachel. I've talked to her a bunch, and she's an asset to this board. Thank you all very much.
Is there anyone else in the public that'd like to be heard regarding this case? Okay. Now, I'd like to, I think with that presentation, I think did raise a couple issues which I think need to be addressed, at least from my point of view, okay? One, and I know it's because of the Board of Health has been hammered in the last month or so, and particular staff shortages, so that's one reason why I believe the fact that they didn't weigh in prior to this hearing. Normally, we would get a report from the Board of Health, and Terry Fisher Kerr Schroeder is very diligent.
We have met with the health
Okay.
commission, yeah.
So I think the first thing I need to understand is regarding this decision back in 2005. Was this brought up during your discussion with the Board of Health?
We were aware of this document, so we did go in to speak with her, and she advised us to reapply for variances. So that's what we're doing. We're planning on applying for a Board of Health variance, which would be on August. It'd be, I don't remember the exact date, but it would be in August.
Okay. It, obviously, anything that we do as a board here gets, I think, you know, whether we approved it so forth, it's still, any permitting has to be approved by
Right.
by the town of Harwich Board of Health
Yeah, no, we're well aware of that. I
going
mean,
forward.
That's why, I mean, just to respond to that, that's not an argument for this board.
Yeah,
That's
no,
to be dealt with, and
I
those restrictions
understand
to be
that,
dealt
okay.
with at the health department, yeah.
So you are in discussions with them regardless, okay. And Rachel, did you get anything further from the Board of Health? Okay.
Mr. Chairman?
I'm sorry, okay, yes.
Lastly,
You can go to the podium, sir.
With all due respect to the applicant, the 1174 square feet that's on that recorded deed restriction has impact. The four corners of that document are what we have to live by.
It doesn't have impact for this board. That's-
I understand.
That's the main thing. I mean, it raises an issue, but it does not have, it has to do with the Board of Health establish this, and it's up to the Board of Health to either uphold this decision or to consider another variance. And you know far more about septic system than I do, but part of that decision may have been back in 2005, based upon the types of systems they had back then to handle septic. And they may consider a variance because of designs have changed and ability to handle water and sewer has been approved, which might give them the opportunity to consider a larger square footage and give them a variance. But that's up to the Board of Health,
I understood.
okay?
Thank you.
Just from my understanding, and attorney can maybe help on this, is as I read this document, the deed restriction related to a number of bedrooms. The increase in square footage habitable space related to a variance and not a recorded deed restriction. Am I reading that document correctly?
That was correct.
I believe it's a condition on the variance.
Yeah, because the actual decision is a variance decision. The only thing that's called out to be recorded on the deed is that it's limited to a dwelling of 3 bedrooms.
Right, not the square footage.
Not the square footage and stuff. So again, it's a health department, septic system capacity. I'm not an expert on that, but
The other,
as for the square footage, again, this was a previous variance that can be re-varied or re-permitted.
the other thing that I do believe that, I think when gentleman raised the issue, Mr. Grant, is I'd like to have a little discussion, and particularly, John, you know this better than I do, regarding the indication of how water is being retained on the site. And I do not see anything in the plans here regarding dry wells or how we're going to be able to maintain water on the site.
The plan notes that it's to be designed by others. I'm assuming, and the applicant can comment on it, that that's gonna go in hand with the design of the septic system, because the ultimate location's not designed yet, right?
That's correct.
Not trying to put words in your
Yes,
mouth.
no,
but
that's absolutely
I don't
correct,
think
yeah.
they can determine the location of the dry well until they determine the location
Septic.
of the
Right.
septic.
And that's
Okay.
all gonna be before.
But there is a
submitted
note,
to the Board of Health. That would be-
note 13 on the drawings notes that it's to be designed by others.
And those others would be the septic designers and the installers and the plans that would go in front of the Board of Health and the discussion with the Board of Health and may get altered by the Board of Health during that process.
Okay.
But that's because of the set-offs that, or offsets that Mr. Grant pointed out, is that there are distances from wastewater and other issues.
John, do you have any other questions?
I didn't, no, I had already addressed my questions.
Al?
No, I have questions.
David? All right, so I want to just, right now, just confirm. And, Rich, I do believe the documents that have been presented by Mr. Grant, need to be probably shown as part of the decision, correct? I think well, we don't need, I think the key thing was just the fact that it was discussed in the meeting, the previous decision by the Board of Health. I would like to see, as far as part of the discussion, because we have discussed it. And that's the one key document that I see that I think needs to be reviewed. I mean, in the, in our fact that it was looked at.
You wanna add the Board of Health decision to the,
Right, to,
you can add it to findings.
To the
Board of
findings.
Health.
yeah, to the findings. Does anybody have any other documents they'd like to, in the findings?
No.
Okay.
In the minutes of the meeting, I'll note that there were
Yeah, right.
comments from an abutter.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't believe I think it's good information, but I don't believe the averages was discussed, but I just want to put that document in the findings. All right, so, let me just get, sorry. All right, so looking at all the information that it should be submitted as part of this application. Attorney Donovan, you got your report from Rachel?
Yes.
So regarding the application hearing documents,
Those are correct, yes.
did we make extra copies of these for this meeting? Just wondering, okay, all right. If anybody wants a copy of this, I'd be happy to have it made in the audience, okay? We're going through what documents are included in findings of facts and so forth. All right, so now we have recommended findings and conditions.
I think number 2 there, where the parcel, it's L1-51, I think it's L151, just so I'm having confusion.
That's what it says, L151.
There's a dash.
Oh, get rid of the dash?
Yeah.
There is no dash.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Other than that, it looks fine to us.
Okay. So, and, so we're good through 1 through 16, everybody? All set with those?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I didn't ask before, what is the time frame? Should you, between us and also get approval from the Board of Health, what is your time frame on this?
We want to start in the fall.
Okay. Well, regardless, I think we do need to have the condition that during the life of the project, should we have an approval today, during the life of the project, there should be no demolition or exterior construction or new landscaping between June 30th and Labor Day of any year. That for the life of the approved project, all construction vehicles, when possible, would be parked on the applicant's property and not block egress on the right-of-way along any public street or private way. And terms of, and violation terms and conditions of the special permit may enforce that usual thing by the Harwich zoning bylaws. Are there any other conditions that board members would like to consider on this, for this case?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to accept the documents, findings of facts. Oh, in part of the findings of facts, excuse me, we're going to add the decision by the town of Harwich, Board of Health from, that was recorded, I don't see the date on it, but it was recorded June 9th, 2005. So that'll be in the finding of facts, so that'll be
17.
Number 17.
Or should it be under the hearing documents? Just
I
asking.
think it's more appropriate under the document included, right? So
Okay.
it's not a finding by this board.
Yeah.
It's
That's
only
right.
There'd be some confusion.
Good point.
So number 7 under. hearing
All right, so under the documents, so number 7 will be the decision of Harwich Board of Health recorded. Oh, wait, actually, it's May 20th.
May 20th is the date on the document.
Yeah. 2005. Okay. Okay, so, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the documents, findings of facts, and conditions of approval as stipulated. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second by John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Votes 4-0. And I'd like now to ask a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Al. All those in favor?
Aye.
Voting on this today, it'll be Al, myself, John, and David. And before making a motion to close discussion, I just want to reemphasize that, and again, given what the board may decide here, that should it be an approval, that obviously you need to spend some time working with the abutters and so forth on how you're going to keep egress open and make some sort of arrangements, okay? And again, that's not up to our board to take care of, but it is something that needs to be addressed, you know, for that neighborhood, and be able to have the project go forward in construction. As simple as that. I'll entertain a motion to close discussion.
So moved.
I have a second? Second by Al. Vote on to close discussion.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, any further discussion by the board?
No.
Okay. I think, would you like us to ask for a straw vote?
I would like to take it up there,
Okay.
yes.
All right, on the straw scenario right now, gentlemen, how do you feel?
I'm okay.
Aye.
Okay. I believe we have a straw for,
Thank you.
okay.
Appreciate it.
I'd like to have the clerk make a motion.
Case number 2026-13, Kristen A. Bunch, through the attorney, William, Mr. Attorney Donovan. The owners are probably located at 5 Highland Lane, Assessors Map 6B, parcel L151, the RH2 zoning district. The applicant has been granted a special permit under 325-54A4 and 5 non-conforming structures and uses, and 325 attachment 2, table 2, area regulation 325, attachment 3, table 3, height and bulk regulation to raise and replace a pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling pursuant to Howard zoning bylaws 325-54 and 52 and Mass General Law 40A, Section 6. Granting is consistent with the Gale case and related, as there will be an intensification of one or more existing nonconformities, no new nonconformities, no substantial detriment to the entire neighborhood or pre-existing nonconforming lots, as the proposed structure will not create any additional negative impacts with respect to traffic, noise, odor, and congestion. Any relief not granted expressly, not expressly granted hereunder is hereby denied, and all work shall be performed in accordance with the plans submitted with the application. Revisions to the approved building plan to conform to building code regulations that do not alter what is approved by the board. The decision do not need to come back to the board. Said grant and approval are subject to the following conditions. During the life of the project, there shall no demolition, exterior construction, or new work between June 30 and Labor Day of any year. And that for the life of the approved project, all construction vehicles, when possible, will be parked on the applicant's property and will not block egress or the right-of-way along any private or public or private way. Violation of the terms and conditions of the special permit may be enforced as a violation of the Harwich zoning bylaw pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 48, Section 7, and the Harwich zoning bylaw, as these may be amended from time to time.
I just want to clarify that the no demolition exterior construction doesn't also include landscaping during that time frame. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by John. All those in favor?
Aye.
You have your approval.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck with the Board of Health.
All right, case number 2026-14, Susan H. Sear, through trustee for the Sear nominee trust, through their attorney, Michael G. Donovan, Esquire. The owner of the property located at 118 Headwaters, Assessors Map 81, parcel 837, the RR zoning district. The applicant seeks a special permit or the alternative of variance for 325-54A 2A. Non-conforming structures and uses, 325, attachment 2, table 2, area regulations, 325, attachment 3, table 3, height and bulk regulations, excuse me, to replace the existing deck with a sunroom in the same footprint and construct stairs from the sunroom to grade on the pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling pursuant to the Howard zoning bylaws of 325-54 and 52 and Mass General Law 48, Section 6 and 10. The Highway Department, Fire Department, Police, and Building Departments commented they had no concern. Planning Department, Historic Board, Secretary, both submitted comments that they had no concerns. No other comments from other town departments nor abutters were received.
Okay, I'd like to ask the applicant or his representative to introduce themselves and any persons helping you out.
Hi, it's Michael Donovan, still here
Okay.
this afternoon, on behalf of Kroll and
Got a
Donovan.
monopoly on things today.
Congratulations.
So I represent the Sears, it's Susan and Craig. The actual legal title is held by this trust, the Sear Nominee Trust. And as...
Are those the Sears in attendance? Hey, folks.
I can see you back there. Yeah, I think, there was a big crowd.
Gonna move them down closer so they can actually hear what's going
Hear
on?
what's going on, yeah.
Why do I feel like we've seen the Sears before, or a member of the Sears family before?
Yes, years ago, I think.
Oh.
Mr. Kroll
I think
was with them, yep. Yeah, good memory.
it was one of my first cases, probably.
So this one is fairly straightforward. There's a deck right now on the eastern side that has a awning that goes in and out on it. And what they want to do is they want to turn that into a sunroom, which will be turning into a structure, and then have stairs come down onto the north side from that. Right now, the lot, the nonconformity is the lot and the east side setback. And neither of those are changing. Obviously, the lot size is not. The east side setback is 9.7, it's gonna stay 9.7. The building coverage and the site coverage will change slightly, so the building coverage is 18.2, and that's gonna go to 21.5. That will become, that covering of that, in that same footprint, it will now constitute building coverage where it doesn't presently. So that's about a 3% increase, and then the site coverage is less than a 1% increase, 38.5 to 39%. Because we're in that same footprint, just the stairs come down a little bit more than what the existing stairs are. The rest of it, in my chart there, it shows conforming the frontage. There's 2 front setbacks, Headwaters and Wallace Street. The north side setback, the building height, those are all conforming now, they're all gonna stay conforming. So all we're really looking at is a slight increase in building and site coverage. And that east side setback is staying at the 9.7%. These are small changes from a zoning standpoint, and that this is right for a Gale decision under the statute, that there would be no substantial detriment to the entire neighborhood by turning the existing deck into a sunroom. And I'm happy to answer any other questions you have.
Just for the calculations, why did the coverage go up?
I think it's
Just from the stairs?
from the stairs, yeah.
Which are coming
And
out,
landing, I guess landing, I should say stairs and landing, there's
Stairs and
a
landing.
concrete landing on
which
the
are
bottom.
coming out to the
Is
north.
that in the site coverage or the building coverage?
Oh, they both went up.
Well, the building coverage is going up because
Excluded.
it's a structure now.
Excluded the deck.
Decking wasn't
Thank you,
included.
John.
Sorry, I thought you meant the site coverage.
Yep.
Yeah, the building coverage was because it's now considered a structure,
Okay,
building
thank you.
coverage, yeah.
Well, while you're on a roll, Dave, any other questions?
No, I have no questions. Pretty straightforward.
Well, first, to your point, Dave, when I first looked at this, I was concerned. It was one of those classic issues that people are concerned with, that you build the deck and the deck's a nonconformity, and then you turn the deck into habitable space, and boom, you've, kind of skirted around the
Around it,
nonconformity. Until I looked at the drawing, and the corner of the house is already nonconforming.
Non-conforming, correct.
With 16.9, so you would be able to increase that nonconformity anyways, even
Yes.
if the existing deck hadn't been there.
Mhm.
So, long story short, once I looked at that, I was like, okay.
You and I were on the same plane on this one. I was out there, I don't know if you folks saw me, I was out there with a tape measure and so forth, and you might have said, my God, honey, what is he doing out there with a tape measure? But anyways, basically, the rulings, our code is the fact that you can build a deck halfway halfway into the setback if it's under 4 feet. So, it, basically, from my point of view, in many ways here, and I realize we're dealing with a Gale case, and that I'm looking at intensification of the setback to the house,
Mhm.
as far as my viewpoint, to allow, to look at the construction, and if it's detrimental to the neighborhood versus the setback of the deck, because the deck is under 4 feet.
Yep.
It goes from actually 3 feet 10 inches down to something else lower, but, so it's, because it, you know, basically if it wouldn't necessarily, and I realize the deck's connected to the house, but we're looking at the height of the deck, and since it's below 4, my viewpoint on this, and it doesn't really matter for this case, well, it does, my viewpoint is extending the setback, the current setback of 16.9 to 9.8 is what, is in one regard how I'm looking at it,
Looking at it,
extending
okay.
the house.
Yeah, I was looking
I
at the
see what
same
you're
thing.
saying.
It looks like the deck didn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah,
The house is already non-conforming.
And you-
Right, the house is already non-conforming.
Just creating a new,
If the house was conforming,
That
I'd be having a struggle right now.
Yep.
Okay? All right? But the house is conforming, so I'm not. And I just mentioned that,
The house is non,
I mean, the house is
already
non-conforming.
non-conforming
So
on
I'm all
that side
set.
of the house.
on that side, right?
I'm just, I bring this up also, so you know my thinking going forward for
Correct.
another case.
No, I appreciate it, yeah.
All right,
Yep.
because we're looking at the height of the deck, and as far as whether or not it is an approved, the deck itself an approved nonconformity. Okay. All right, so in many regards, I don't consider the deck being I don't consider the deck being a nonconformity. I look at the house right now as being a nonconformity.
Non-conforming, yep.
Just want to, you know,
We were on the same page.
yeah. You know,
It ends up in the same,
Same
Your,
spot.
your partner
Same
spent many
spot.
years educating me on a lot of stuff, and at least I can do is give you my point of view, so you can think about it going forward. Okay, it doesn't necessarily, it's a point of view of everybody here, but that's mine. Other than that, I think it's a great idea, what you're doing here, and, I don't, because of how the current deck sit scenario, this is not gonna impose upon your neighbors and so forth. I think it's gonna be a fine addition to your home, okay? Timeframe.
When do you want Beck to start?
We'll start as soon as we get some bids and we can contact.
Okay, so this fall. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is there a limit to how long something takes?
you have to start within 2 years, is that right, Rachel?
2 years, right?
2 years from the issuance to start construction?
Of the
The
ZBA
permit.
special permit, you have to have a building permit issued within 2 years.
2 years.
Okay.
And then beyond that, if you have a restriction for the Memorial Day to Labor Day thing, that's in perpetuity.
Well, and,
It's not just the first summer.
right, no, it isn't, but this really isn't a
I'm
vacation.
not saying it applies, I'm just saying that would be
No,
the case.
No, no,
You're right.
it only,
That's why we always say in these things, you know, we think during the life of the project.
Yeah,
life of the project, and why it says no new landscaping. So maintaining your landscaping once it's established,
Of course.
there's no,
yes.
Right.
you know.
Yeah. So, is there anyone in the public that would like to speak to this case?
Nobody's left.
Okay, well, I just need to make the opportunity, you know. All right,
Who's online?
TM, I don't, Terry McGrath, I have no idea, is there somebody online that wants to speak regarding this case? Okay, hearing none, that's fine, that's an opportunity. Thanks for checking, I didn't even look if they had people online. Apologize to the public who's online. All right, any additional questions at all for the applicant?
No.
Okay.
Nothing further.
All right, so let's take a look at the findings of facts and everything else. We turn ourselves to,
Do we have to make the edit to your point earlier? You know, about the 16.9 is the current nonconformity? I'm not saying it's material, I'm just wondering whether we.
well,
need to-
actually, if truth be told, in a way, the existing deck's also non-conformity because it should be no more than 10 feet if we're doing halfway the distance of a setback. So they're actually,
Okay, so
the
it
existing
is
deck,
also
it
not-
actually is a non-conformity.
Okay,
Because it, you know, it's, given a setback is 20 feet, the deck is allowed to go to 10 feet. So the fact that it's at 9.7,
Yes.
it's already created a nonconformity.
mhm,
So if they're here looking to expand out the deck permit, I consider that to make a, change that, that would've been a pre-existing nonconformity.
okay.
So I don't think we have to make any notes on that,
So
but
we don't have to add the other
Yeah,
one then, since
I
that's
think
already the guidance,
I don't believe so.
okay?
I'm not exactly sure about that calculation, to be honest with you, because if it's already non-conforming, it might be half the distance from the house to the property line. The deck might actually,
You're allowed to go halfway to the setback.
I think you're allowed to go halfway between the structure and if you're non-conforming.
Rachel?
That can only be up to half the required setback,
Is that it?
but
Yeah.
in this case,
I mean,
the
we're
deck
talking,
is-
I'm talking inches, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
So half required setback would be 10 feet. Actually, the deck's a nonconformity. I mean, maybe, okay. Application hearing documents, are we all set there?
Yes.
Gentlemen? I don't see any changes.
Okay,
Okay, recommended findings and conditions based upon documents submitted, items 1 through 16. Attorney Dunham, any
Fine.
changes?
Oh, sorry, no, fine,
They're fine?
no changes.
Okay. So regarding conditions, it's not a, it really isn't a vacation, it's seasonal type traffic, and I don't think it picks up traffic there. Do we feel we need to impose the date restriction on this?
That's a pretty congested area.
I'd say it's only seasonal traffic, isn't it, in that area?
I mean, my thought is, it's really just the traffic along Headwaters, right? I mean,
Right.
you guys are on the corner of Wallace, right? I don't think there's any issue on Wallace, right? So
Yeah,
as long as they're not on Headwaters, I don't,
Maybe we could just say nothing on Headwaters,
yeah.
leave it at that.
And Wallace has other,
Wallace is a
routes
dead
in
end,
and
right?
out.
Or pretty much,
I'd say you can't block Headwaters, so.
yeah. Because you got people going back and forth to the health center and stuff, but,
Right.
But I think the sidewalk-
On Wallace, yeah.
yeah.
Well, okay, well, here's a clear thing here, is do you feel that they'll be able to maintain construction vehicles on the lot?
It's not a huge project.
Right.
And honestly, it's in the back, so.
Okay, so why don't we just go with B,
Okay,
that for the life of the approved project, all construction vehicles will be parked on the applicant's property and not on any public street or road. I could add with the exception of Wallace Road. That would help.
Yeah, I think you should add that, because
Okay.
they don't have a lot of area to park.
All right, so why don't we, with the exception of Wallace Road. So the exception of Wallace Road, and I'm gonna just add into that, so I suggest, and will not block egress on the right-of-way along any public street or private way. I think it was Wallace Road, a public street?
private.
Huh, it's
I think
private?
it's private.
Okay.
Private, right? Yeah.
So, gonna make that B, that for the life of the approved project, all construction vehicles will be parked on the applicant's property and not any public street or road, with the exception of Wallace Road, and will not block egress on the right-of-way along any public street or private way. Are you okay with that, folks? Okay, and we're gonna eliminate the June to Labor Day of any year.
Okay.
Because you may not find a contractor early next spring. And this will help you, allow you to get started
Yep.
without being delayed,
Thank you.
okay? All right. All right, the chair would like to make a motion to accept documents, findings of facts, and conditions of approval as stipulated. Can I have a second?
So moved.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to ask for a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
All right,
Second.
okay. Moved by David, second by John. Vote on closing. All those in favor?
Aye.
Voting tonight, this afternoon, excuse me, would be Al, myself, John, and David. I don't think we need a straw vote here.
No.
Okay. You can ask for one if you like,
No,
but,
I think
okay.
we're fine.
All right, I'd like to,
Say it's too late at night, but it's a
Paying
whole
by the
different
hour?
scene here today.
Paid by the pound or by the hour on the drawings?
the chair will entertain a motion to close discussion.
So moved.
Okay, motion by David,
I'll second.
second by John. All those in favor to close discussion?
Aye.
Aye.
Any additional discussion by the board?
No.
You know, when you're representing all the cases here, I mean, a box of Joe, I mean, really, we could all go for a cup of coffee right now. That's all right.
It's too hot. Iced coffee.
Irish coffee, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe all right,
We're at cocktail time here.
Al, are you all set on that change?
With regard to the, life of the project.
Yeah, on the,
Vehicles.
yeah, good, okay. All right, Al, I'd like to ask the clerk to make a motion.
Case number 2026-14, Susan H. Sear through Sear Nominee Trust, your attorney, Michael G. Donovan, the owner of the property located at 118 Headwaters, Assessors Map 18, Parcel A37, the RR zoning district. The applicant has been granted a special permit under 325-54A, 2A, non-conforming structures and uses in 325, attachment 2, table 2, area regulation of 325, attachment 3, table 3, height and bulk regulation. Replace and the existing deck of a sunroom in the same footprint and construct stairs from the sunroom to grade on a pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling pursuant to the Howard zoning bylaws of 325, 54, and 52, and Mass General Law 48, Section 6. Granting is consistent with the Gale and related cases, as there will be an intensification of one or more existing nonconformities, no new nonconformities, and no substantial detriment to the entire neighborhood on a pre-existing nonconforming lot, and as the proposed structure will not create any additional negative impacts with respect to traffic, noise, odor, and congestion. Any relief not expressly granted hereunder is hereby denied, and all work shall be performed in accordance with the plans submitted with the application. Revisions to the approved building plan to conform to building code regulations and do not alter what is approved by the board in this decision do not need to come back to the board for approval. Said grant and approval are subject to the following conditions. That for the life of the approved project, all construction vehicles, when possible, will be
Oh,
parked.
you gotta, I'm sorry, I screwed you up there. You gotta go on this one. Let me read it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I put the wrong one in there. That for life of the approved project, all construction vehicles will be parked on the applicant's property and not on any public street or road, with the exception of Wallace Road, and will not block egress on the right-of-way along any public street or private way. I totally changed that one.
You're forgiven.
Thank you. Now you can go on to the next one.
A violation of terms and conditions of this special permit may be enforced as a violation of the Howard zoning bylaws pursuant to Mass General Law 40A, Section 7, the Howard zoning bylaws, as these may be amended from time to time.
Can I have a second?
Seconded.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations, folks, you have your special permit.
Great, thank you.
And good luck with your project and finding a quality contractor. Okay. All right, Al, you still need to call the next case? Yep. But I see Mr. Donovan's packing up, he wants to get out of Dodge.
All right.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Want to, yeah, use your,
Thank you, everybody.
Case number 2025, excuse me,
You don't have to be here for the
Oh,
next
Withdrawal.
motion to
we
close.
have to call the case first.
you said it first, I thought you were,
we're just trying to
I
confuse you.
misunderstood.
I would have been ready for a cocktail 2 hours ago, quite frankly.
At least an hour and a half.
Would have made one of them a lot easier to get.
Case number 2026-15, Robert and Linda Allen, through their attorney, Michael G. Donovan, Howard Fort. The owners of the property located at 46 Witter Drive, accesses map 17, parcel U3-34 in the RR zoning district and WR overlay zoning district. The applicant seeks to overturn a building commissioner's denial of the building permit or the alternative of special permit or variance under 325-6, interpretation 325-54A1, building permit, non-conforming structures and uses of 325, attachment 3, table 3, height and bulk regulation to construct addition to a pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling pursuant to the Howard zoning bylaws 325-54 and 52 of Mass General Law 40A, Section 6, 8, and 10.
Okay, we have a letter from Colin Donovan requesting, and from Michael Donovan, indicating the fact that on behalf of the aliens, they would like hereby withdraw without prejudice ZBA Appeal 2026-015. And do you happen to fill out continuance agreement? Oh, actually, it's
This is-
withdrawal. You
Yeah,
don't need
this
to.
is just a withdrawal without
So,
prejudice right now.
Yeah. So all those, any discussion on this?
Nope.
I think we ought to make him hear the case. What do you guys think? Okay,
Be nice.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the withdrawal. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Withdrawal approved.
I'll second your motion.
Okay. So, Brian motion. Okay, David second. All right,
All right.
now you can leave.
Now I can get something stronger?
I have a
Thank you.
beverage on me.
Have a good afternoon.
For me.
Hopefully you get paid as much for the fourth as you did for the second.
Okay.
So I've got a procedural question.
Yeah.
With every case, so you move to close discussion, but then you ask for further discussion from the board. So is the first move
I close open. I was
open discussion with them?
Open public discussion.
Okay. Just needed that clarification. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah. All right, so,
Voting?
all right, we need to, first thing on is, oh yeah, we need to vote, reorganize the board. So
Or to not reorganize the board?
we're gonna vote we have to vote to reorganize the board. Basically, myself, Al, and Ken have all indicated that they would be candidates for reorganization, myself to be reappointed as chair, for Ken Dixon to be appointed as vice chair, and Al reappointed as clerk. Okay.
I move that we accept your foolish volunteerism.
Okay.
Seconded.
Thank you, John.
Motion to approve the fools. By John and David second. Okay.
I'm in a state of denial right now.
All those in favor of that slate?
Aye.
Approved. Okay, the slate is approved. All right. Approval of minutes. All right, so these are the minutes from June 25th. I have changes. Actually, these are passed on from Ken, but I have the same changes. On page 3, after it says, in the first sentence, did not agree with, period. All right? Noting that he did not, so basically,
Yep.
that goes. So we just take out noting that he did support the project. Okay, that just did not agree with, period.
Actually, the very next item, there's just a typo. It says perviously instead of previously.
Oh, okay, you see that, Rachel? Okay, previously. All right, and on page 4, I did not, okay, wait a minute, how's this going to change? I did not answer the question, it was answered by,
About the Attorney Creswell question direction?
yeah,
It was.
So I just gonna say
it was
that-
The applicant, right? Can you just say the applicant?
no, I think it was, I think she just basically indicated, I think Attorney Questle indicated
I
the
think
direction of water flow.
I recall the applicant answering the
Yeah,
question.
she got an answer.
Mary Ann Rose actually answered
Yeah,
it,
I think it was,
or
I think
one of the
it
engineers.
was one of the applicants.
One of
Somebody
the
on the
applicants.
applicant side answered it. And then Amy basically said, so it flows in the other direction,
Yes.
was her follow, but
Yep.
but there was an answer.
So how do you want to write this? How are we going to rewrite this?
Cross out,
You just say answered by the applicant, right?
yeah, cross
Right.
out Mr. Sullivan, put in the applicant.
Yeah, we'll say the applicant, that'd be fine. And on page 5, fourth down, it says Mr. Murphy. It was Mr. Dixon noted that he is
Yes.
supporting the project. Huh?
Yeah, right, Dixon.
Okay. Any other changes on that page? And I have no changes on page 6. Want to pass this down? Anything, Rachel?
So is the video recording retained on these things too?
Oh, yeah.
The meeting, the recording of the meeting, is that retained in our records?
Well, I'm not quite sure. Yes, it is.
Hi, Jamie Goodwin, Harwich
Jamie.
Channel Manager. I take open meeting law every year, and the public record of this meeting is your actual typed physical minutes. The video and audio recording is just a courtesy for the public.
That's correct. That's, yeah. So it's just,
And so it is only retained for how long?
Well, everything that our station does, we put on YouTube. So until YouTube decides to limit what people can post or starts charging
Be
for it,
there.
it could be there forever.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I
Thank you.
can't imagine YouTube, for getting volume of people watching, would ever, delete our meetings. Actually, we're doing pretty good. I noticed that,
The reason I ask is obviously we have a 4-hour meeting, and it's impossible to document every little he said, she said thing, and
I think Amy did point out, there's a caveat to that when we were having the AV issues, that if the meeting is internet only, if there's no public in attendance, then the video has more weight.
Oh,
But when it's an open meeting where it's been posted and, I think during COVID, like when they were holding video-only meetings, it had more weight. Because remember, it came up when we were having the AV issues, and they
Okay.
said, well, if it was only, online only, this
That was
would have
the
been an
only
issue,
record.
but since people could attend in person, it's not an issue.
yeah.
So I have my hands, I've already signed, this is the next item.
Well, we have to vote to accept the minutes
Oh,
or something, don't we?
excuse me.
As
I'd
amended.
like to have, make a motion that we accept the minutes as revised. All those in favor, who had the second?
Second.
Second, you mark that down, Rachel. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next, under new business, actually is Penrose, a decision document. And I did sign this last week, in the original, and I spent some time, and I know Ken did as well. We both sat down and we went through the draft, the decision document prepared by the town attorney. We found another, handful of corrections,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Which we incorporated into the final draft. Just so you know, whatever, the applicant had requested to see that draft decision to present comments on it before signature, but because of open meeting laws and so forth, the public session was closed,
Yep.
and so at that point, there is no more input from anybody. So we could not accept any input, nor did she have the document ahead of time, the applicant or the applicant's attorney. After I signed the document and it was posted with the Court of Town Clerk, then Rachel sent out the copies to the applicant and other related parties. At which point, they combed over the document for mistakes, which they would have picked up had they been given the opportunity to review it ahead of time. Okay, we want to take a 4-minute break. We'll be back in 4 minutes.
Oh, you got me hanging here on a cliff.
Well, this is what they do. We've gone to an ad,
All right, I'll join them.
all right?
Since are we off?
No, we are still on.
That's right, John.
Yes.
I want to ask the question I'm gonna ask.
Anyway, I brought a sandwich I hadn't finished, so I'll hope the public doesn't mind me finishing off the sandwich, but I will.
I've been complaining to my wife that my pencils keep disappearing. And then I started to load my bag today, and I was like, holy crap, there's like 6 pencils in here. I must throw one in every time I go. Someone's taking my pencil.
So Rachel, how was the town hall cookout last week, or whenever it was?
That was a few weeks ago. It was nice.
Oh, that's cool. Is that a new tradition?
I think it will be.
Yeah, that's good.
It was all right.
That's nice to recognize that.
Yeah.
Unless they invite the zoning board to come by for a burger.
It's because we,
No.
Select board was
they
there.
invited more than 2 of us, so we'd have to post it, right? That is a shame with law. I mean, again, so many organizations have some sort of yearly recognition or, holiday party or something, and, honestly, with open meeting laws, you really can't include the boards.
Well, you just gotta post the fact that they're having a meeting that day. That's all you gotta do.
Then you got a lot of public.
I mean, I have, except for, how do we handle the town meetings? That didn't get posted. Groups, but I have, like, I know a couple times, I don't know,
Yeah, well, you,
I have- I
and
have-
Ken were all there.
we're
one
we're all
night.
gonna show up. I have posted that there would be, we've done that, just in case.
Provide real good guidelines.
Town party, I don't think you would need to post that. That's if you're just going.
But
if you're going
but
somewhere
in the
to
training,
discuss.
they don't really talk about,
Like, it's all the board members are going to
Yeah.
a party. I'm not posting an agenda because you're going to.
but they don't, and when you take the training, it's like, if you guys get together, you can't, you know,
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're still expected to not discuss anything.
yeah.
No, that's fine, no, I'm glad you thought of it.
Drum roll.
Okay, so where was I?
The attorney for
after they
the
reviewed it.
applicant
Yes.
reviewed it
So
in
they
micro
reviewed it,
detail.
and they submitted,
You have to open the meeting back up.
oh, we're back. Meeting is now back in session. What page is that on, any idea?
Don't you have a little tab?
No, that's where I gotta
It
sign.
was on condition 23.
Okay, so we had, on conditions, what page is that on?
I don't have it
Anyways,
in front of me anyway.
the review from the applicant and the attorney, which has required us to have a corrected copy, they found the fact that the word affordable, we didn't use a capital A in a spot where they felt a capital A should be used.
As a
Okay.
defined term.
Yeah. And they felt the fact that that was going to have an impact on their ability to get financing.
Okay,
So now what?
We corrected the A to, after consultation with the town attorney council, and any decision when a typographical error, which that would be considered as made, we're allowed to submit a corrected decision. So,
Okay.
Do
I
you need
know.
another motion to sign the corrected one, or
I
is
don't-
it still covered under the original motion?
still covered. You know, I don't need doesn't need to come from your board, I just want you to know what happened. So, quite frankly, myself and Ken were in, the attorney, Amy Questle should also be, very pleased, the fact that after we went through this and the applicant's attorney scoured it for mistakes, we found
One capitalization error.
one capitalization error,
Congratulations.
I'll take it.
so.
That's why we voted you in
Yeah,
for
that's
another
why, I
year.
was gonna say, that's why we're,
Why I'm making the big bucks. So anyways, this corrected now, this does not, signing the corrected decision does not reset the clock on the 20-day appeal period.
since
Because
it's
it-
a, since
because
it's
it-
a minor text.
It was a typographical scenario.
So the original signature is the date that it still is valid.
Yes. Actually, the key date is the date that it's recorded with the town clerk. Doesn't matter what date I sign it, it's the key date on setting the 20-day appeal period is when the town clerk stamps it in,
Which was the 6th.
which is the 6th. Well, actually, I should probably date that, shouldn't I, still?
No,
I can date it today.
you're not required to provide a date on there.
That's right, that's why I didn't. I'll hand it down, Rachel.
This Ritter case, this is going to be just tossed. They've withdrawn it.
They've withdrawn it for now. Who knows, it may come back, but if it does come back, I'm assuming the fact that it would be, you would see new documentation. So I don't believe we need
Yep.
we don't need to retain our files, do we? I mean, I have in the past sometimes.
I don't know, just because.
You may want to hold on to it for a couple of months, but whatever. I mean, I'll hold on to mine because I think
Okay.
if it does come back, I'll probably take a look at it and see what changed.
Can we discuss it at all?
No.
No.
Okay.
Nope, can't discuss it.
Because it was withdrawn.
Correct. All right, so that was, is there any old business?
Litter case?
No. We have no correspondence or briefings we need to review. And if nothing further, thank you for your reappointment as chair.
No, thank you, Brian.
We get a 50% increase though.
I think we should. I mean,
At least cost of living.
Should be, and that should be built into the ZBA budgets.
Absolutely.
For the 40Bs.
Yeah.
They should,
So it's now 4:39. I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.